What is normal in your country, but seems weird to the rest of the world? Being middle class with a property, having a 6 feet wall, electric fencing linked to an alarm, automated gate and garage doors, with security clamps over the gate motor to prevent theft of the motor, security gates over every door, burglar bars, and a house alarm system with infrared sensors linked to armed response with a reaction time of under 3 to 4 minutes. Everyone rags on the US for using Imperial, but can we talk for a second about how weird we are here in the UK for using both inconsistently? You buy a pint of milk or beer, but a liter of Coke and 25 milliliters of whiskey. People know how many miles to the gallon their cars get, but you buy fuel at pence per liter. You watch the weather forecast and the temperature is in Celsius, but the wind speed is in miles per hour. Most people can tell you their weight in kilograms and their height in feet, and if they can't give you kilograms they can probably give you stone instead, which is even older than pounds, which nobody uses as a unit of measurement, probably because of the confusion between lbs and pounds. It's a glorious mess. In university we thump the tables to applaud our professors, instead of actually applauding, or doing nothing. During my exchange semester everyone not from Germany was looking at me confused why I did this. In my country we don't applaud our professors, at least not in the one I go to. It has only happened once, when the lecture was especially interesting and professionally done. In my experience it's done for guest lecturers, or at the end of the last lecture of the term. Definitely not at the end of every regular lecture though. A short while ago they stopped selling alcohol after 10 PM. At some stores you couldn't even get non-alcoholic beer. What's weird though is that wine is not considered alcoholic drink, so you can buy it anytime. Welcome to Moldova. Wow. Such gold. Much thanks. In certain US states you can't buy any alcohol in stores after 8 PM or on Sundays. Georgia, the US state, just revised the law to allow alcohol purchases in grocery stores only after 12:30 PM on Sundays. In restaurants, only after 11 AM on Sundays. It used to be not long ago no purchases on Sundays in the state. Heck, even some counties are still dry counties, where you can't buy alcohol at all anytime. Strangers sitting totally naked skin to skin in a steamy room heated to +80 to +100°C, and us having competitions on who can last the longest in there. I miss Finland. I went to Finland once after the World Scout Jamboree in 2011. Lovely country. Went to an indoor skiing center under a hotel, which was basically just a loop you could do, but it was weird. You walked into a hotel, went down in the lift and you were suddenly in a room surrounded by snow. Also went to a public swimming pool. It was odd seeing everyone not give a rip walking around naked. Saunas are great though. The cracks that are just wide enough to be able to see in and out of public restroom stalls. United States. I've heard it's thought of as weird, since many other countries enjoy the luxury of privacy. How else would you know if the stall is occupied though? Seriously though, as a European having to visit the US twice a year, pooping in the US is stressful. Edit, yay, thank you for gold. It's my first. 99.9% of the time it's fine. And then one time, when you are in mid-poop bliss with your phone out, you get a weird feeling. So you glance up and see an eye silently peering at you through the crack. Eye contact is made, and the eye does not look away. You feel like ages pass, but it's really just a second, and you yell out something like "What the uck are you doing?" and the eye leaves. You jump out of the stall but nobody is around anymore. The eye waits for the next unwary visitor. Bagged milk. I know it's normal in some places, but not here in the UK. Interestingly, businesses must have caught up with it as every single Costa I've been to has milk in bags. We tried it in my elementary school in the US for a while. It was a common trick to say your chocolate milk busted because you put the straw too far and get another one. It didn't last long. Unsuccessfully helping your dad look for one of his missing thongs and then watching him squeeze into one of your mum's so he can go out into the backyard and get the laundry. I'm told the rest of you, incorrectly, call them flip-flops. I was going to say pineapple, beetroot and fried eggs in our hamburgers, but yours is way better. Fried eggs on burgers are fairly common in the US. Most places that offer a variety of burgers have a burger with it or over them as an add-on. If you work in an office here in Germany and open 2 windows to get a cool draft, a co-worker will close them angrily in the next few minutes, yelling angrily "S-seat." A lot of Germans wrongly believe that a draft will give them all kind of sicknesses from a stiff neck to a common cold. There is of course no scientific proof that a draft is harmful. Eating biscuits and gravy. I traveled to the UK and told them that biscuits and gravy is a very common breakfast food, and as you would expect they were highly confused. Biscuit equals cookie across the pond. Why we would take something sweet and cover it in gravy. And also was confused that the gravy we use has sausage in it and is white. Pharmaceutical commercials. This could only be the US, right? I'm from the UK, and the idea of adverts for anything but things like over-the-counter cough medicine or other non-essential medication seems absolutely bizarre. Do you go to the doctors and say, well, I've heard about this great X medicine and I'd like to try it for my X problem. Can you write me a prescription? How does it even work? Over here I just tell the doctor my issue and they decide which medication I get, which almost always will be a generic unbranded one. I pay the £9 prescription charge and off I go. Direct democracy in Switzerland. It often baffles me when I read what the government can pull off in other countries without ever involving the population. Like, yay, you get to elect representatives, but it often seems to me that those people then elect someone who elects someone who elects someone. Is it really still democracy if you're about 5 steps removed from the actual decisions? Edit. I just realized that the reason why so many people made a point about the US being a republic despite me not mentioning it was probably my last part, even though I was primarily thinking about Germany when writing it. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Where I'm from the answer is guns. Lots of guns. You shoot guns at 9 years old with your buddy at an old washing machine. They are a way of life, and I suppose death for a lot of people. I understand why people support owning guns. They grew up with them and see them as normal. You tell people from other countries about shooting guns at 9, and they look at you funny. In the Philippines, it would be people living with their parents. Everybody I know whose parents' homes are in the city choose to live there. With the relatively low wage to cost of living ratio, it is not unusual for married couples to share houses with their in-laws. I work remote, and I still live with my parents, and pay 0 rent. Of course, I pay all the bills, feed them and do all the home repairs and chores. I have 2 to share since I'm half, and I get to see those every year. Dead. We celebrate dead, and we have parades about dead. We laugh about dead. Dead is our friend. In Mexico we treat dead with love and fun. Also in Japan we celebrate Kanamura Matsuri, which is basically a parade about fertility with dicks everywhere. Small dicks. Giant dicks. Dicks as food. American coinage doesn't have numbers on it. If you see a €1 coin, it has a 1 on it. Seems reasonable enough. In America, just words. Seems like a mean troll on foreigners that can't read our coins. I know the dead presidents on the coins, so it doesn't bother me, but if I went to another country and they insisted upon making me read to use their money, I would probably be pissed off. Yeah, that was bananas when I was there. I mean, a quarter is quite self-explanatory if you have half a brain. And a penny says 1 cent or something like that. But I had to look up what a dime was, because it's one of the smallest coins. The smallest coin. It just says 1 dime, and I couldn't derive that from any other Latin word, centidi sequent, or Spanish word or a Germanic root, and I don't know any French. So I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 10 cents. In the rush of the moment, usually I just presented cashiers with an open palm full of coins and let them choose the right ones, like an elderly person. In the Netherlands we learned biking around our 4th birthday. Seriously, how are there still people 16 plus who can't ride a bicycle? From a very young age my daughter would tell me she didn't want to learn to ride a bike for fear of breaking her arm. At 10 I bought her a bike, and she was actually making progress when she hit a curb, fell off her bike, and broke her arm. Now she's about to turn 17, and refuses to ride a bike. Wow, you've reached the end of the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.